Hi guys, as promised, I am going to do a few moves for you. So for those of you who are new starters to my classes, when I shout various different things, you will have an idea as to what the moves are that we're going to do. Now these are just my variations of the moves, so you might see it somewhere else and it might be slightly different, but this is how I use these moves within my class. So we're going to start off with just a basic mambo. So you're going to go forward and back. So you're at a slight side angle and you just go forward and back, forward and back. So that's the real basic step. And then you can add a little bit more. So you then start to hop slightly. It's not really a big hop, it's just a little one from side to side. And then quite often we'll have a change. So you just change straight over to the other side. But again, the very basics is you're just tapping diagonally forward, diagonally back, diagonally forward, diagonally back. Then what we can start to add is a cha-cha-cha to it. Now I'll explain the cha-cha-cha. Quite often we might do a step, step, cha-cha-cha, step, step, cha-cha-cha. So the cha-cha-cha bit's the little hoppy bit in the middle that I use. So I go step, step, cha-cha-cha, step, step, cha-cha-cha. Or we can put in a mambo cha-cha-cha. So we come forward and then a cha-cha-cha and a forward and a cha-cha-cha. So we lose the forward and back and we just go forward, cha-cha-cha, forward, cha-cha-cha, forward, cha-cha-cha. More confident you get, you push those hips and give it a bit more. Cha-cha-cha, forward, cha-cha-cha. Following on from that, sometimes we'll do a back cha-cha-cha or a rock step. So again, a rock step is a back step and a quick little step in the middle. Rock step, rock step, rock step. Good. So it's stepping all the way back with that little teeny hop in the middle, but the important thing is to keep those moves quite small. But going from a back cha-cha-cha, what we do is we go for a back and then the cha-cha-cha in the middle, so it's a bit bigger and a longer distance move. So we quite often will do a forward cha-cha-cha, forward, or a mambo cha-cha-cha, followed by a back cha-cha-cha and a back cha-cha-cha. So that's kind of covered mambos, forward cha-cha-chas, back cha-cha-chas, that kind of thing. The other thing we haven't quite covered is actually a forward and back cha-cha-cha. So where you come forward on one leg, little cha-cha-cha in the middle and back. So again, we can start off on a left leg or a right leg. Quite often it's a right leg and then into the left leg. So then I'll change over and we'll go forward, cha-cha-cha, back, cha-cha. So again, it's just that little hop in the middle before you change into a different move. Okay, so I think that's kind of covered that area. Going to move on to salsas now. So quite often I'll shout basic salsa. Basic salsa without all the frills is just a tap to the side and back in. So it's out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in. Once we want to start to add a little bit more, we start to push the hip and step it in. Push the hip, step it in. So you're rolling that hip out to the side and back in. So push and in, push and in. Good. So we're going side. And then you can start to add a little shuffle in the middle as well. So it's all out and shuffle, out and shuffle, out and shuffle, out and shuffle. So that's kind of our basic salsa. We again follow that with a forward and back. So when it's forward and back and forward. So again, there's more emphasis on those hips. So it's a forward push and a back push. And we can change legs again and forward and back. And again, forward and back. The other salsa we tend to sometimes use on occasion is a sway and wiggle. So it's a sway out to the side in, sway out to the side in. And we have that little wiggle in the middle. So it's a sway and wiggle, sway and wiggle. Arms you can use as and when you want. They kind of just go with the hip to move. But again, listen to the music. The main thing is don't overthink these things and just have fun with the music. So that's kind of a little bit of our cha-cha-chas and also our salsa moves in there. We have a bit of Colombian as well. So a Colombian, basic Colombian, is a forward and back tap. So it's forward, straight back, straight forward, straight back, forward, back, forward, back. So the leg that's waiting there can then have a bit of a hop. So you can just give it a little gentle bounce, or you can really lift that foot off the floor if you want to give it a bit more. Again, again, you can do that on the other side. Forward and back. Good. Then we go for a Commune shuffle. So Commune shuffle, hands out to the side we're going to be travelling in, is a step, step. So it's 2 steps. 2 steps. Now at the moment you can see my body's quite straight. You want to add a little bit more of a dimension to that, so I'm going to stick the hip out to the side. We go step. So almost imagine that you're trying to get away from that bottom. So bottom is out, you're moving across with those hands. Sometimes we have a single, single, double, single, single, double, and sometimes we just travel this to me and travel it back. But ultimately, it's just 2 little steps. Again, key to this one is keeping those steps quite small. Okay, we also sometimes have some travels as well. So when we do that forward and back Commune, we can travel it across and then back. Okay, so again, what you're doing is, let's take this left leg for example, or in your case the right leg, you're going forward and back. This leg hops across, forward, back, little hop, forward, back, little hop, then we change. Forward, back, forward, back, forward, back. However, the quicker you go, the more smoother it looks. You're going forward, back, forward. This leg's really just shuffling along to keep up with the other leg that is moving. But again, just practice these at home and you will soon have them, no problem. Okay, so another move that I get asked a lot about is those jive kicks. So usually mainly used for my dance classes, but on the occasion we do sometimes do it in Zumba classes. A jive kick. Okay, it feels a bit unnatural to start with because you take that leg across the body, out to the side and in. Then again, cross, out, in. Cross, out, in. Cross, out, in. So once you start to get used to the hang of this, you can start to add a little bit more to it. So you can go a little bit faster. So diagonal out and in. Diagonal out and in. So notice a little bounce in the middle there. Once you really get the hang of that, you start to add a step, step there. So it goes diagonal out, step, step. Diagonal out, step, step. And then you can really kick it high if you want to. And this will allow it to work harder. Important thing to remember when doing that is you keep that tummy in, therefore working that core as well. Good, okay, so let me check what else I've written down. That's some moves that you would need. Okay, a couple of Charlestons and then we'll go on to the pivot kicks. So Charleston is a step forward, step back, step back. So in this case we're going to go right, left, left, back. Right, left, left, back. Once you get the hang of that, you start to bring the foot forward slightly, round and back. So you get a nice smooth sort of curl with those feet. And again, once you get the hang of that, you can add a bit more of a bounce in there. So again, we're going forward, forward, back, back, forward, forward, back, back. Arms, usually out to the side. Sometimes we make it a bit harder, adding that, adding arms. But again, up to you. Don't worry about arms too much. The main thing is to get those feet working first. The odd routine, we go forward, forward, back, back, and then we step behind. So again, so it's a Charleston step forward, and then it's a step, instead of coming forward, we take that leg straight back. Again, forward, forward, back, back, and behind. Good, which does lead me on actually to a Coca roller. I know you all love this one, but you are getting the hang of it. So, quite frankly, you take the right leg across, diagonally across the body. You then take the left leg across to tango yourself up. Then you take that right leg back out, and then the left leg to straighten yourself back out. So again, so you're going diagonally across, over that leg diagonally across, then undo, and take that leg back to its first position. Also known as tiger feet and chalet dance. But in my case, I shout it out as Coca roller. So it's going right, left, forward, forward, back, back. Again, anything you need to learn to do it. Then you can speed it up so it's across. And you can use a bit more of those hips, use those arms. And then it's important to make sure you can do it on the other side. So then left, right. But again, I think we're getting the hang of this one, guys. We've been practicing it quite a lot. Now, one of the main ones I know that some of you are struggling with is the pivot turn. In the basic form of a pivot turn, it's literally coming forward on one leg, leaving that leg where it is, going to the back, and coming in and holding. Then quite often we switch to the other leg, so it's coming forward, taking it back, stepping it in. So, again, the pivot is not necessarily, when I say pivot turn, quite often I shout out the leg we need to be using to actually go forward. So in most cases, when I say right leg pivot turn, you're going to bring that right leg actually forward, leave the left leg where it is, and then pivot to the back, and then in. And again, when I say left leg pivot, it's the left leg that's doing the work, so it's coming forward, back, and in. So that is a basic pivot turn. Quite often in there, though, we have variations of it. So you do a pivot turn, so you go forward, back, and sometimes we'll go out to the side, so then change legs, left leg pivot, and again, out, in, in. Okay, other times, sometimes we don't. We just go straight back forward again. So we might go forward, back, forward, and in. So again, there's variations there, but the main thing is to think of the pivot turn is actually the point where you're travelling round. Another good one where we do lots of circles all the way round is where we do the Katy Perry song. So we might start off on that right leg. So we go right, left, then we pivot. So that right leg comes forward, goes to the back, and we turn. Then again, we go right, left, pivot, and face the back. Then again, right, left, pivot, and turn, right, left, pivot, back to the front. Then quite often we change legs, so it's the left leg is travelling, left leg, then the right leg, and the left leg goes forward and turns. Then again, left, right, take it forward and turn, left, right, forward and turn. Okay, and so on. Basically until you're facing back to the front. But again, keep those moves small. You don't want to make it too big, otherwise you can't get it back in. So, let me just check. I think, hopefully, that is more or less everything. There's a few others. Okay, so we've got some travelling and also some heels across. So quite often we do tap forward, tap back, step across. Forward, back, step across is the slow, basic move that we've got. But when we speed it up, step across. So it goes forward, back, and step. Forward, back, step across. Forward, back, step across. Again, I think we've mostly got that one now, but it's there if you need it. Another one is the single, single, double taps. Single, single, double. Single, single, double, and turn. Single, single, double. Single, single, double, and change. Single, single, double. Again, you can use as much or a little bounce with this one as you want. But again, essentially all it is tapping it across. Couple of travels. Again, kind of similar to the ones where we do the Colombian shuffles across. It's just leading that leg forward and back. It's the same thing, but we're just facing a different wall. And finally, a bit of tango, I think. So, tangos. Hands are always usually towards me, and it's always the leg towards me that you're going to lift first, and you step. Now, it's almost like you're testing to make sure that ground is solid enough for you to step on. So you test it, then you decide to commit. You test it, commit. Test, commit, test, commit. Then you can see you can add, again, a bit more to it if you want to. We do travel forward and back with it. Forward is easy. Back is a little bit harder because you have to get that foot back and turn. So it is a lot harder to go slightly back because you've got to take slightly bigger steps. But it is possible just with a little bit more effort. And that's pretty much it, guys. I think that covers everything. Obviously, if there's any moves that you still think I'm not quite sure about, grab me in any class. I'm more than happy to go through them with you. Email me if you want to go through and I need to do another video of anything else.